I auditioned since the age of 7, and I started working. I got a few gigs at 7, 8, few serials, and Jhansi Ki Rani was the biggest of them all, which shot me to fame. All I remember is I lived my childhood very thoroughly, very richly. I mean, I don't know if richly is a word though. I mean, I've always chosen to play roles which taught something or inspired women. You know, when I ventured into the regional film industries like Marathi, I did Telugu, I did Bengali. So also they didn't know, they didn't know much of my work. So it didn't dominate their mindset about me. And then there was this film called Andhra Pori, जहाँ पे मैं एक ट्रेडिशनल ब्राह्मण लड़की हूँ, आंध्रा की लड़की हूँ, और उस फिल्म के लिए मेरा चैलेंज था कि मुझे 10 दिन के अंदर तेलुगु सीखनी थी, और वो भी एकदम ट्रेडिशनल तेलुगु।
10 दिन के अंदर?
10 दिन के अंदर।
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WitChat show. And today the guest we have amongst us is somebody that I have been watching throughout my childhood. Of course, she's not that old. I don't want to make her sound that old. But talking to her on this very platform, it is like reliving my childhood yet again. And that's the iconic none other than Ulka Gupta.
Oh my God, the hype Ankur has created. First of all, I am so proud.
No, but I honestly have to say this. I have said it like a lot of times to her, but today on this public domain, I would want to say that, I was in my 6th standard. I very distinctively remember this. 1:30, Jhansi Ki Rani used to come, एक repeat telecast होता था, Zee TV पे आता था, I remember. And I used to come home running from the bus, and I used to be like, no, I have to, because रात को देखने नहीं मिलता था, because tuitions होते थे, बहुत सारी चीजें होती थी. But I distinctly remember that I used to come home. My of course, my father was there. He used to heat up the lunch and make things ready and serve it to me in the plate. I used to sit in front of the television. I used to not even blink. And I remember the first ever episode I saw Ulka when I remember there was this particular sequence where there was some bhala fight between you and one British officer. And that's when not even a single episode, ladies and gentlemen. I remember dressing up as Kranti Guru in my society, in my fancy dress competition. So that is the kind of impact that this girl has had in my life. So welcome Ulka, welcome to the WitChat show.
I'm really, really honored. Thank you so much.
It is my honor to have you here, and thank you so much for doing this first of all. I
would have been the first volunteer because it is Ankur. Everybody, Ankur Ghadke. I have associated with him since a year now, and all I can say is his energy speaks for him, and the humility, the honesty that he enumerates from him is the driving force. He has a lovely team, and he is beautiful at heart, and I've just had such a wonderful journey, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm honored actually, compared to being invited to an already existing chat show to being invited to Ankur's. Finally, the dream come true, and I'm really, really thrilled. Thank you
and
so all
much.
The very best.
Thank you. Okay, so I would want to start by asking you this. You've had a journey. बचपन में everybody everybody, I remember these examples were being given in my childhood to my sisters, to my siblings, that whenever Jhansi Ki Rani used to play on television, there were these examples given by parents कि देखो सीखो उससे, देखो वो छोटी सी उम्र में उसने कितना achieve कर लिया. But what was your childhood like? Of course I remember you've said this in a lot of your interviews that you used to be shooting outdoors, or you had a childhood, you had a working childhood basically. But then what was your childhood like? Were you able to digest as a child that you got famous, not famous, like enormously famous, I would say that. How did you register all of that? How did you digest the fact that okay, I'm a star, I'm a star, everybody knows me?
First of all, I still haven't digested that fact.
Right.
I am still trying to understand what all happened, but all I remember is I lived my childhood very thoroughly, very richly. I mean, I don't know if richly is a word though, but first of all, thank you for mentioning that vivid piece of your memory from your childhood, the way you watched, and I'm very grateful that you were my audience, and today we work together, we are professional colleagues. And so all I remember, Jhansi Ki Rani was one of an opportunity in my life. and since childhood, since the age of 5, I've always wanted to be an actress, just act basically, or be in front of the camera, be on the stage, entertain people. And whenever I had one opportunity, I tried to give my best. So fame was something that was a byproduct that happened, but all I knew that I wanted to be in front of the camera. I auditioned since the age of 7, and I started working. I got a few gigs at 7, 8, few serials, and Jhansi Ki Rani was the biggest of them all, which shot me to fame. And I didn't know, but all I remember that acting was my passion. I loved acting, delivering, and the moment the cut would happen, I was in my childhood. I would play throw balls with my lightman, and we'd play cricket. And since we used to shoot out of Mumbai, so we know that the whole set and the crew left their families behind in their hometowns in the cities. So we made sure that we had a lot of fun. मतलब शॉट के बाद भी we'd crack jokes, and मैं रक्षाबंधन भी अपने सेट में मनाती थी. मतलब आज भी अगर आप देखेंगे तो सभी मेकअप आर्टिस्ट से लेके लाइटमैन से लेके सब रक्षाबंधन पे आज भी मुझे टेक्स्ट करते हैं. और मैंने फैमिली सा माहौल था. आई एम ग्रेटफुल टू द मेकर्स क्योंकि उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा काम किया. एक्टर तो एज एन एक्टर मेरा कंट्रीब्यूशन था, बट जो पूरा शो, राइटर्स, हमारे प्रोड्यूसर्स, कॉस्ट्यूम डिज़ाइनर्स, स्टंट डायरेक्टर, सबका योगदान था. एंड द शो केम आउट अमेजिंग, अ ग्रेट एंटरटेनिंग show and a historical masterpiece of its kind. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it. But coming back to childhood, I think it really depends on the parents how grounded they keep them, और उनके दिमाग में वो चीज़ घुसने नहीं देते हैं. And I'll have to give it to my mom and dad. उन्होंने मुझे हमेशा kindness ही सिखाई, मेरी मॉम ने, और हमेशा हम्बल रखा. मतलब उसके झांसी की रानी के बाद जब मैं कॉलेज भी गई हूँ तो माई मम्मा आस्क्ड मी कि तुम कॉलेज में एक स्टूडेंट की तरह ही जाओगी, तुम BST बस ही लोगी या ट्रेन ही लोगी. एंड आई रियली एंजॉयड दैट. मेरे दिमाग में कभी था ही नहीं. सो आई एम स्टिल ट्राइंग टू डाइजेस्ट कि क्या मैं स्टार थी हूँ या क्या.
Yeah, of course. See, I feel that more than being a beautiful actor, you're a beautiful human being. Of course, you're a beautiful actor. You've done plethora of work on screen. But apart from that, of course, I am sure that all the people who've met you in person also, you have left an impact on them as well. Okay, so I would really want to ask you this: that was it a conscious decision for you to choose projects which were women oriented, where you could leave an impact on the society? And was it deliberate, like was it a conscious decision, or it just happened and you just went in with the flow?
I would say both ways.
Right.
Maybe the makers, I've always chosen to play roles which taught something or inspired women. It was just it just naturally happened, and I think even the makers could only see that mostly in me. And whenever there was a script that a woman was taking charge or dominating or fighting people or a queen or a devi, people would the first person they thought of was me. And I'm really grateful for that I have made a mark or a signature in that. So but I have tried to do vivid roles also, softer roles, and a girl with an underdog character personality. I've done those, but I think I'm mostly known for the ones that empower. And if it helps, and if as long as it does empower people and impact, I'd keep doing that.
Right. But do you really think that that has affected you as an actor? Like, of course, whenever we think of Ulka Gupta, we only think of Ulka Gupta as Jhansi Ki Rani, or somebody who embodies like a powerful who has a powerful screen aura on screen. But do you think that you've missed out on those characters where there are vulnerable characters, women who are emotionally vulnerable? Have you really given it a thought that somewhere down the line, because of that image of yours, you have missed out on that part of
very very interesting. That did happen when it comes to the TV, whenever I'm trying to do TV. But when it came to some opportunities on films, since they didn't know much about me, or didn't know much to the roles that I had done, so it wasn't that clouded in their mind, or they could see me in different light. So I've tried to do that. And also when I ventured into the regional film industries, like Marathi, I did Telugu, I did Bengali. So also they didn't know, they didn't know much of my work, so it didn't dominate their mindset about me. So there I got an opportunity. I did 3 really different roles in the Telugu projects that I did. One was a shy, timid girl, who wears spectacles, and then she had this Jassi mein, then she had a changeover, and a little about her dating life, and then there was this character called Rudhramadevi, which was very interesting. In fact, uske case mein aisa tha, it was a story of a princess who didn't know that she was a female, and she was told that she was a male, and she led a life like a boy. And so that was one of a kind of a role that I've always wanted to play, and I got that opportunity. So उसमें भी जो एक कॉन्ट्रास्ट होता है कि एक लड़के की तरह जिंदगी जीना और अचानक से पता करना अच्छा आप लड़की हैं, तो फिर बाद में वो लड़की की तरह, फिर बाद में उसका वो चेंज ओवर होता है. एंड देन देयर वाज दिस फिल्म कॉल्ड आंध्रा पोरी, जहाँ पे मैं एक ट्रेडिशनल ब्राह्मण लड़की हूँ, आंध्रा की लड़की हूँ, और उस फिल्म के लिए मेरा चैलेंज था कि मुझे 10 दिन के अंदर तेलुगु सीखनी थी, और वो भी एकदम ट्रेडिशनल तेलुगु. 10 दिन के अंदर और आंध्रा और तेलंगाना के बीच में डायलेक्ट्स का बहुत डिफरेंस है. मैंने तेलंगाना का भी समझा, तेलुगु और आंध्रा भी समझा. सो दैट वाज वेरी अमेजिंग फॉर मी कि मुझे हिंदी में हमेशा स्ट्रॉन्ग रोल्स मिलते थे, बट वहाँ मुझे डिफरेंट रोल्स करने का मौका मिला. एंड बंगाली में भी एक फिल्म थी कि जहाँ पे मैं एक कोई बिजनेस टाइकून की बेटी होती हूँ, और एक टिपिकल सा रोल होता है. आई एम शाय एंड फ्रेजाइल एंड ऑल दैट. सो आई थिंक रीजनल मूवीज में मुझे वो अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली कि मैं कुछ अलग करके दिखाऊं.
राइट. ओके, सो उल्का, I know how much you adore Smita Patil as an actor, as a human being. I very clearly remember this particular incident that I would really want you to share it with all the audiences about you meeting her parents at the airport. And of course, when I heard the incident, I had goosebumps, and I still have goosebumps even thinking about it. We all have grown up watching her. So first of all, I would like you to narrate that anecdote that you told me, and tell the audiences about your, I think you and I don't know, we bond over her, we connect over her. So yeah,
exactly. I think with Ankur I've had long talks, long conversations whenever we met about Smita Patil, and how we just adore her, and all her work. I'm a big fan of her movie Bazaar and Bhumika. Arth I haven't gotten a chance to, but the work she's done, I've met most of the directors she's worked with, and I've always asked about her nuances.
Oh, wow.
I've been really lucky with that. But the luckiest thing, the luckiest encounter that I had, not with great Smita Patil, but with her parents. So I was on the Delhi airport, and मैं कोई event करके आ रही थी, मैं मम्मा के साथ बैठी थी. I was like 14-15 years old तभी.
Okay.
तो मैं ऐसे फूड कोर्ट में कहीं बैठी हुई थी, और मैं खेल घूम रही थी, और उतने में एक अंकल थे. He was I would say like 70s के आसपास. And he said, एक मिनट, बड़ा इकड़े मराठी में इधर है. मेरे को मराठी समझ आती थी, मैं आई. So because मैं मुंबई की लड़की हूँ, तो I'm pretty, I won't say I'm amazing at it, but yeah, I can speak and write the language very well. So उन्होंने मुझे बुलाया, और उन्होंने कहा, तू माझी मुलगी सारखी दिसतेस. Oh, so sweet. I felt so sweet. अच्छा, tell me more about her. Then he told me कि वो ती अशी होती, आणि तुझी असा पण, तुझे केस पण तसे आहे, तुझी नोज तशी, ऐसे कुछ बोल रहे थे. It was very sweet. फिर उन्होंने अपनी वाइफ को भी बुलाया, कि तो एक माझी वाइफशी पण,
माझ्या वाइफला पण,
आंटी ने भी मुझे हग किया, गोदी में बिठाया. It was so sweet. फिर बाद में उन्होंने कहा, आप किसके साथ आए हो? मैंने कहा, मैं मम्मा के साथ हूँ. मैं मम्मा के साथ मिलाया, और मम्मी उन लोगों ने भी मुझे मराठियों में बात की. और फिर तेव्हा माझी आईला कळलं की they are Smita Patil's parents, and they were like, and I had known about her movies, but I didn't know much about her. मेरे मॉम डैड ने बोला, उन्होंने ना मम्मी के साथ नंबर एक्सचेंज किया. उन्होंने कहा कि हम प्रबोधन ठाकरे में ना उनके रिमेम्बरेंस में एक बर्थ एनिवर्सरी में हम एक इवेंट रख रहे हैं, and we would love to call her there. And it was such a sweet thing when my dad learned. He just jumped in joy, because my dad is an actor, and he reveres about the Hindi film industry, Hindi film theatre,
absolutely.
So I was so happy and delighted the day I met the Patil family. I met Raj Babbar sir, I met Pratik Babbar, and I was felicitated also. Felt so nice. Felicitated for being an actress, and somebody they felt very close to when they looked at me. So I'm really glad that I reminded them of Smita Patil.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
When I was young.
Okay, talking about your work in cinema, you've worked with some stalwarts like Ranveer Singh or let's say Anushka Shetty in South. You've also worked with Nagesh Kukunur, the director, in your recent web show. I would want to ask about like what is something that you've learned from them, and is there something that was there in your mind, a preconceived notion that you had to unlearn after looking at their repertoire or their way of working, or you've realized the fact that, oh, okay, Ulka, I should actually change because this is the right way of doing things. So has that ever happened with you?
I would say I have only learned instead of unlearning. When it comes to working with a director, there are things that you have to alter inside of you or the working style you've had so far. With Nagesh Kukunur sir, things were so detailed. I felt like never in my life I worked with somebody who was so microscopic when it came to details. And the expressions that he wanted, he had it on him. It was so easy for me to understand the words, just some few one-liners to give me that hint. Okay, this is what I need to project. So when it comes to working with Nagesh Kukunur sir, there's so much detail that goes into, and it is an experience.
Amazing.
Honored once again with amazing actors like Ranveer Singh and Anushka Shetty and Nitya Menon. I had a few promotional work that I had. All I learned was that personality really matters. Or Ranveer Singh is a very hard-working actor. I mean, he deserves all the love that he gets. He's very hardworking, very focused and super energetic, and he's an amazing person to be on set with. Like the whole crew loves him. The first thing he comes and he's like, he gives high fives and like fist bumps to everybody, and that just brightens up the like the mahal on set. So I've learned that one thing from him.
Amazing.
And with Anushka Shetty, has a beautiful aura. Like when you are around her, you feel like there's this Devi's aura and glow projecting out of her. So that is something that I've learned. Great.
Coming back to how you've conducted yourself so far, I would really want to compliment this, that there are a lot of actors in the industry, of course, who don't fit into the quintessential beauty prototype of the industry.
Oh yes.
You are somebody who has always made a mark for yourself, and you've always projected that if I can do it, you can do it too. So what is the message that you would want to give all the youngsters, all the young actors on the block who are trying to make it big in the industry?
When it comes to the matters of beauty, I think there is unconventional standards of beauty. There are conventional standards of beauty. We are all used to a certain skin tone, we are all used to a certain features or body type. And let me tell you, girls and boys, everyone out there, these things are going to keep changing and altering based on the trends, or if somebody who makes it, somebody who's not a conventional looking face or a conventional looking star, but when they make it is when everybody understands. But then why do you need somebody to come before to tell you that you are also acceptable? You are already acceptable, and you just need to make mark with the talents that you have and fight for it. Persistence is the key, and not conforming to the beauty standards that the social media, that the film stars are projecting. We should look around to the beauty that India already has, and I know the Bollywood is not currently the reflection of the actual beauty. I would fairly and comfortably say that, because a lot of my insecurities were injected through the ads, through the Bollywood that was once upon a time. But I understood with being an actress and as being a girl in this country, in this open world right now, that I am loved, and the way I project the pride I hold about myself will convey it all. So that's Ulka Gupta for you, ladies and gentlemen. I would just conclude the interview by saying this, I have met two personalities in my life. One was Miss Sushmita Sen, who made a huge impact with just a 15 seconds of meet. I have met her and she made me feel so special. And then there's you, Ulka. Thank you so much for doing this. It's such a big comparison, but I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much, and I hope that you keep inspiring the millions and millions of people who come.
I would do my best.
And thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.